next up we are going to talk about the Bagua. So this one kind of hit the scene not too long ago, maybe a month and a half ago. I got this from a list over on Vape Pit. There was actually just another sale that happened recently over on the Korea Vape forum, not Korea Vape, I'm sorry, on the Team Rampage Mod forum on Facebook, and I believe they did another list on Vape Pit and maybe one on Vaporwall as well. So this little guy is a little 14500 device, and all right, I'm gonna show off for a sec, just because I'm a show off. But this is the brass one, and I just want to show you something real quick. Can you see the serial number? Yeah, I lucked out. I got 001. So, anyway, yeah, it was totally luck. I guess the first, the first batch of 20, it was numbered 1 through 20, and I just happened to get 1, so that worked out well. So, anyway, oh, you have 2? Nice, there you go, Chris. So, so yeah, it's a 14500 mod. It's 7, actually, we'll go through the specs real quick. It's, let me give you his link real quick. He doesn't have a website with the shop setup, but he does have a blog site, and I'm going to link that here if you guys want to take a look. Oh, nice. That is his blog site. The price on this, it's actually a very reasonably priced device for a higher end mod. It's 110 bucks. So, it's right in line with like a Piccolo, which is another 14500 mod. And plus another 10 bucks for shipping. So you're looking at about 120 bucks. Pretty reasonable. It's small, it's very compact, it's 17 millimeter, so, something like a Penelope is going to look really good on it. I think 16 millimeter devices look really nice on it, like the mini micro that I have on here. I think that looks really nice. This is just, so you can see, how small this setup is, with my hand sideways. Give you an idea, it's very, very small. Not just narrow, but also short. Nice compact. It's not much bigger than an Ego battery, actually, this setup. So, but the specs on it, 17 millimeter. It's 73 millimeters tall. Obviously, it takes a 14500 battery. It has a double adjustable center pin, which I'll show you when I pull it out. And it comes in 2 different materials. You can get stainless steel or brass. If you get both together, I know that Aeon Vape does a discount. I think it's 10 bucks off if you get both, and then you can do like a mix match so that you have like stainless top cap, brass tube, stainless, brass, stainless. That mixed finish or that mixed material look, which I think looks really pretty. And it has a magnetic switch. Let me show you some of the engravings on this real quick. So the engravings are different depending on which one you get as well. The SS tube has a different engraving on it than the brass tube, which I think is kind of cool. So it separates them a little bit. Let me, just so I can show you this, I'm going to pull autofocus off again here. So the engravings along the body, you can see these nice markings that go up and down the tube. And then you have the serial number and a little engraving at the bottom of the tube. And then around the lock ring, you have some Korean. I don't know what it means. I think it means eat more Korean food, you fat American. No, not really. Yeah, I'm not sure what it means, actually. I should probably ask. But and then it's got a really nice engraving on the bottom as well, as you can see. So that's on the bottom of the switch. And take off autofocus here, or turn on autofocus here. So, so those are the specs and what it looks like. Obviously, you know, it's very compact. What comes with it is basically what you see here. It's the mod, and already assembled. Everything you need is in there. It does not come with any spare parts. And let me show you the firing switch real quick. So first of all, the lock ring on it, really, really nice. This is kind of, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the little engravings on it give it like a little bit of a texture, which makes it easier to grip, to lock and unlock, which I really like. It's not reverse threaded, but it's such a smooth lock ring that it doesn't matter. Like, I haven't had any issues with with turning it too hard and then having the bottom unscrew, because it's such a nice, light, easy turn on the lock ring. Let me take the bottom cap off here so you can see. Yeah, it's almost like fancy knurling, exactly. That's basically what it is. Good call. So, it has, you know, an insulator for the base of the battery, and then it's got a nice fat battery contact point there. Hold on. So as you can see, the contact point on the battery is really big, so you got that nice big flat surface against the battery. Really easy to disassemble too. You just need a flathead screw. You can pull that apart, and it's just opposing magnets on the inside. It's a very simple, clean switch design. It's nice and smooth. The button firing is nice and smooth on here, as you can see. It didn't really have any kind of break-in period. The top cap, hold on a sec. Let me unscrew my Addy here. So there we go. It's got dual adjusting posts in there. So basically, it's a flathead screw that screws into. It's almost like a flathead nut on the bottom side. It's different design than the screw screwing into another screw design that you're seeing a lot of in a number of different devices now. For the dual adjusting positive, it doesn't telescope like that. This is a different design. So this is a screw that screws into this on the other side. So as you can see, it's got that hole in the center, and this little screw in there is screwed into the center of that. But then you can adjust this part as well. You can see it's got the marks on the side for flathead screwdriver on that as well. You can actually turn this one by hand too, to adjust it so that the battery doesn't rattle. Okay, so really nice. It's a really nice design actually, and it works. It works very well. I didn't have, you know, it was very quick to get this set up so that the Addy sat flush, and hold on. Get rid of autofocus there. So, no, that doesn't have any effect on the airflow. What that is a lot of people, myself included, are really anal about the atomizer sitting flush on the device for looks, especially with the Genesis style ones where you don't need airflow. And that allows you to adjust that pin so that you can have it sit nice and flush so that there's no gap like you see here. So, the arrow is actually this is the Bagua. The arrow is actually an atomizer that the maker of the Bagua is working on, but it is not out yet. They're working on the prototypes as we speak. We'll be reviewing one of those at a later date. But So let's see what else. Sorry. Um, so yeah, so the purpose of that pin is so that you can get this to sit flush. Now it does have airflow channels, so if you're using something like a Penelope or an atomizer that has air that feeds in through the base, through the 510 threading, you do have the little air holes. You can see that there. Oh, there! See, now I put my hand behind it and the thing autofocuses for me. You bastard. Um, you can see the little slot, and there's one on each side, and it's got nice clean airflow there. So, um, in fact, in a lot of the photos that I saw with this that were posted by the mod maker, it was posted with a Penelope on top because that's also a 17 millimeter wide device. And it fits flush, and it looks really nice and almost looks like a hybrid on here. Um, so like I said, the firing button on it's great. The design of the top cap is fantastic. The you know the telescoping, the design of the telescoping pin on this works really well. It's not even, I guess it is a telescoping pin. It's a different design though. It's a unique design that I haven't seen before. And it hits hard. I mean, for a 14500 device, and you know you're not going to want to push this too hard because the amp limits on a 14500 battery are low. But you know, for a 14500 mod, you know, it performs great. You know, I didn't have any issues with it, you know, voltage loss or it not firing every time or anything like that. You just press the button down, it fires, it hits hard every time. You know, a lot of the device performance obviously is going to be based on the atomizer that you use and how you set it up. You know, for flavor and vapor and throat hit. I've got, like I said, the mini micro on here, which we'll be reviewing in the not too distant future. I'll take a couple of vapes off this just so you can see. Yep, doesn't suck. So yeah, you know, Chris mentioned this earlier, and I think that I said this way back when I first got this device. My first impression of this when I took it out of the box was, wow, it's like the Caravella of 14500 mods. And you know, it's very different than the Caravella, obviously. You know, the telescoping pin's totally different. The way that the top cap's set up is totally different. The lock ring's different. The switch is different. It's not a, you know, it's not a Caravella like device. It's not like it's some kind of knockoff or something like that. But saying that as a compliment, because I hold the Caravella in such high regard, you know, the same way I feel about like the, you know, the Bear Brass mod, just extremely high quality product, and I love everything about it. That's kind of how I feel about this. This is the best 14500 device that I have ever used. Now, I haven't used a lot of 14500 mods. I mean, I've used a Gus 16, I've used a Piccolo V3, I've used a Piccolo V2. Is that it? I've used a Sturm, but it was an older one. It was the V1. I mean, there really aren't a ton of 14500 devices out there, but this is, in my opinion, this is the best one. I mean, between looks, the quality of the functionality, the feel of the product, the lock switch or the lock ring, the firing switch, the way that everything works here, just yeah, yeah, exactly, Chris. I mean, you agree with me. This is the best. It's the best 14500 mod that I've ever used, and I'm really excited to see what the Arrow is going to be all about, which is the Addy that's being designed that'll match with this. So, you know, I'm really excited because this is a really high quality device, especially for the price. I mean, for 110 bucks, you know, I mean, you can't really beat that for a high end, nice compact, you know, kind of stealth vape type device. If you get a nice small atomizer for the top of this, either a really small dripper or a really tiny Jenny, like a Hellfire Mini or a Mini B that Doc Dave's got coming out, or the Mini Micro, something like that, um, you're going to be set. And I mean, the flavor, and the quality of the vape that I'm getting is no different than I would get off of like a higher um, powered mod. It's just going to not get quite as much battery life, obviously, because it's using a small battery. So yeah, I haven't tried the Sturm V2, Chris, so I can't speak to the Sturm V2. I've only tried the V1. So um, oh, you have a golden mod on the way. Oh, that's right, I knew about that. um, you know, I don't I don't think it's more difficult to wrap the coil on a smaller atomizer. It really depends on the design of the atomizer, whether it's going to be more difficult. There are a lot of factors that can make it harder and make it more prone to shorting. If it's got an insulator, that's going to make your life a lot easier, for example. But they're not really necessary. It's just something that it's just kind of a nice to have. So yeah, like I didn't have. I mean, this guy, and I'm not going to talk about the Addy too much because I'm not reviewing the Addy right now. But like this guy is actually a dual coil setup, as you can see here. So I've got a dual wick, dual coil setup on the Mini Micro here, and I actually found this extremely easy to set up. I didn't have any problems with shorts or anything on this. So, it depends. It depends. Some devices can be more finicky, and a lot of it has to do with the way the wick hole is designed. That's where a lot of the shorts happen, is inside the wick hole itself. So, but anyway, so yeah, so the Bagawa. Just to sum it up, positives, pretty much everything about it. I love the feel. I like the look. I like the engravings. Functionally, it's fantastic. It's just a really high quality device in every way. Everything about it I love. I mean, as far as negatives go, honestly, I really can't think of any that aren't, well, it's a 14500 mod, so it doesn't have as good a battery life. But yeah, I mean, it's a 14500 mod. It's not supposed to. Yeah. I can't really think of anything. Maybe if the switch were a little softer, I think I would like that. It's a stiff switch. You have to press it pretty hard to fire it. But that's really the only negative that I can think of. And yeah, the thing hits great. It's a really high quality vape. I like it a lot. I'm gonna have another vape here. Right, exactly. And me loving the engraving, that doesn't mean that you're going to love the engraving. So, everybody has different tastes as far as the engraving goes. Kind of like brass versus stainless. I really like brass. A lot of people don't. So, all the personal, it hits all of my kind of personal preference stuff, in addition to just overall being a very well-made, very high-quality device that's very easy to set up and easy to use. So, thumbs up, thumbs way up, very high up in the air for the Bagawa. I am definitely a fan of this device and highly recommend it. So hopefully there will be another sale coming up here in the near future so you can get your hands on one. And like I said, they're also going to be available, or may already be available, on Aeon Vapes. So I think somebody was asking about that earlier too. I thought I saw it in chat, but now I can't find it. If you had a question about that website, please post it in chat again, because I lost it. Oh, you read on Aeon Vape that it takes flat top 14500s. Yeah, I mean, I have in here right now a AW IMR, the industry standard button top 14500 battery, and it is working just fine. Closed all the way, no gaps, good to go. So, yep. One more vape and then we'll move on.